I'm all bigger and grown up. I wanna fly into space and discover new worlds. I wanna see the stars and follow the constellations.
I'm on Saturn's rings, drifting clean with the bling. Polaris on the wrist, man, I orbit different things. Superluminova glowing bright like a beam. Turn the lights off, still seen in the scene. Got stars on my dial like I charted the skies. Limited edition, only 30 of these guys. NASA couldn't launch this flex if they tried. It's a space race, and I'm light years wide. Brace a lot tight like gravity's hold. Constellation all silver, stunning and bold. They looking for time, I brought the whole night. Told them check my wrist, now they fearing the light.
Yo, tourbillon, ticking like it's got a tiny wizard casting on. Anti-gravity swag, balance willing to dance. Spinning through time like a pocket watch trance. Spin like a tornado, is it working? Hell don't know, but it sure looks amazing. Built for precision, no cap, no lie. Flick of the wrist and I realign the sky. French invention, but I flex it global. Wheels inside wheels, call that watch noble. Tourbillon cage like a spiral spell. It fights physics, well I just look swell. Man will win, but I'm charged like a storm. I'm feeling smooth like a space-bound Jason Bourne.
I'm stargazing, wrists look amazing. Glow like a nova, no time for the hating.
Nubeo, tourbillon spin like a UFO.
I don't wear time, I wear space on my arm. Constellation dial, got the universe charm. Wrist look cosmic, ticking exotic. 30 in the world, man, you better buy yours quick.
Polaris in the sky, Polaris on the face. Every second ticking, got the elegance of space. Tourbillon spin, and my thoughts realign. If I'm late now, time follows me now. Prime.
This is the Nubeo Polaris Tourbillon in Constellation Silver. There's a lot going on here. You've got a tourbillon, a constellation, superluminova that glows brighter than your ex's red flags, and a limited production run of each variation numbered only to 30 pieces. Which means if you're watching this and you don't already have one, you might already be too late. Let's go ahead and get this out of the box and see what it looks like. And there she is in all of her glory. Now, I got to tell you, this is a seriously impressive watch. When you pull this out, when you've got this on your wrist, when you walk into the room, it's going to get noticed. You're going to get noticed. All that wonderful stuff. Beautifully appointed, cleanly designed. Nothing was overdone on this, not even the size. And we'll get into that in just a few minutes, because a lot of times as we look through the catalog of Nubeo watches, a lot of times the sizes can get to be just a little bit larger than what some people are comfortable with wearing. This one, while it is large, I think at 46 millimeters is going to be tremendously more manageable. Founded in the early 2000s, Nubeo made its mark by building watches that looked like sculptures had a baby submarine. Their early jellyfish-inspired cases and oceanic themes made waves, literally, but I don't think that they really hit it off with their customer base until just a few years ago. And they have since expanded into the cosmos with designs themed around NASA missions, meteorites, and stars. And they've also done some very cool tip-of-the-hat kind of homages to deep-sea exploration as well. Now, what makes this watch so special? It's going to be that rotating cage right down there. For those unaware, that is a tourbillon. And if you go back 20 years, nobody had a tourbillon on their wrist. Unless you owned an NBA team, an NFL team, a software company, you didn't have a tourbillon on your wrist. Because until maybe 2005-ish, I would say roughly, the only way you got a tourbillon was buying a very prolific, high-end, Swiss-made luxury brand that had a Swiss tourbillon movement inside. And then finally, Hong Kong came along, Seagull primarily, and they started offering some. And they got a little better and a little better and a little better over the years. Now, well over 20 years later, you're able to get darn near perfection. I mean, high grade quality movements with a tourbillon in a pure mechanical movement like this for a somewhat affordable price. And we'll talk about pricing here in just a little bit. This is not the section I want to do it in. When we talk about the tourbillon, it was invented by Abraham Louis Breguet in the late 1700s to combat gravity's effect on timekeeping in pocket watches. So back in those days, before we attached watches to our wrist, we had pocket watches on a chain, and they would generally sit in one position in the pocket of our vest. And let's say it was in this position with the 6 o'clock hour down, the 12 o'clock hour up. It would sit in this position all day long. And Breguet felt that the constant pulling of Earth's gravitational force on the escapement is what you see that's moving around in here in that tourbillon cage. The escapement is what provides the accuracy for your movement. That's what the watchmaker adjusts to make it run accurately. So anyway, back to what I was saying. He felt that Earth's gravity pulling on that hairspring inside of that cage, inside of that part of the movement, was the reason that you would have variances in accuracy from movement to movement. So the whole idea was to take the entire escapement and have it constantly rotating. That way it's never in one position for very long. So it's going to counteract the negative effects of gravity on the movement. Now, here's the thing. Today, we strap watches to our wrist. It's never in the same position for very long. It's swinging along jolly with our arm. It's doing all the stuff that our hands are doing. So it's never in one position for a very long time unless you're surprisingly lazy. Today, it's less about function and more about flex. If your watch has a tourbillon, it says one thing loud and clear. I have more disposable income than you do. And then enter Nubeo and a few other brands that have made tourbillons affordable. Here's a watch that most watch collectors can actually afford to get into. This one's sitting on Nubeo's site right now is at $4,200, and different variations are priced as low as $1,700. Now, that's still a lot of money for a watch. I'm not going to argue that. But for a true mechanical tourbillon, that's insane. Just giving it a good wind here so that it's fully wound. It doesn't stop running while I'm doing the presentation here. It's really, really cool. I like how they did everything about this. Now, why did they decide to go with Polaris? Well, Polaris is the North Star, literally, the brightest point in the Ursa Minor constellation. The thing sailors used to navigate oceans before GPS, and guys now use to sound smart on Tinder. The Polaris Tourbillon's dial is designed to showcase that celestial inspiration. And it's not just with little goofy things printed on the bridges. What they've chosen to do is something really, really cool. Now, inside of the packaging, they give you a custom Nubeo UV blacklight. And that is for doing this. And now you get to see the design inspiration coming to life on the bridges of this mechanical movement. That is wildly cool. This is all done in Swiss Superluminova. You have BGW9 for the constellation, and your hour markers and hands are going to be done in C3. And you've got a very highly domed, well, not very highly, but it is a domed sapphire crystal. Actually, I felt that that was domed a little bit more than it actually is. It's relatively flat. So you're going to get a little bit of distortion at the very, very edges when it's turned very, very far. And you're going to get reflections from around the watch. Nothing can be done about that. You have a very large case opening here for this movement. You are seeing every component of the movement. They've beautifully skeletonized it. You're seeing into the barrel, into the mainspring. Actually, this looks like, is it? It is. I had to turn it to make sure. You have a twin barrel, 2 mainspring design to keep up with the longer power reserve. And yeah, it's kind of hard to look past the beauty of that tourbillon. Look at all of the different components that are in that escapement. That balance harmonizing back and forth as the entire escapement rotates clockwise. If you go back 20 years to when these smaller brands started doing tourbillons, you would see really, really rough finish work on the bridges and main plates. And here, take a look at the plates. Yeah, the plates are all cut away. There's not much left of them, but what's there is clean, very nicely brushed. Every part of this thing, it just screams class. It screams that this is an expensive watch. All right, let me go ahead and take this watch off my wrist. Be doing a video on this one very, very soon. Actually, pretty excited about this little Dixot. I really, I'm really enjoying that one. Let's get this onto the wrist. Now, while Nubeo has not named the specific caliber being used, we do know that this is going to be a Chinese-built tourbillon. There's no way otherwise you could afford it. The least expensive Swiss-made tourbillon that I know of as a completed movement that you can purchase is about $25,000 just for the movement. And you would have to know how to assemble the movement, how to lubricate the movement, service the movement, tune the movement, and install it into a watch. They've done a classy job of not overdoing the finishes here. Everything is brushed. And then coming down from the top side of this mirror polish case, just to the edges of the bracelet, down to the diver's flip lock safety clasp with the Constellation laser engraved into the buckle. It's got a nice taper. Your bezel is a fixed bezel with superluminova dots. Very large crown, very, very easy to wind the movement, and very smooth. It's a very smooth movement to wind. This is surprisingly comfortable on the wrist. And again, take a good look here. Yes, it's a big watch, but it's not a monster. This is a good time to talk about the specs, isn't it? Let's do that. Here we're looking at a case diameter of 46 millimeters with a thickness of 15 millimeters, and that is crystal to crystal. Solid 316L stainless steel. Your crystals are sapphire crystals front and back. Mechanical wound tourbillon movement inside with a 42-hour power reserve, which I thought that would have been longer, being a twin barrel, a double barrel, having two mainsprings. I kind of assumed it was going to run a little bit longer than that. Water resistance is 50 meters, which means to you it's splash proof. You can, if somebody pushes you in the pool and you get out right away, you're probably going to be okay. This is not for diving. This is not for remaining submerged or anything like that. This is not a sport watch. Now, remember, again, you only have a shot at one of 30 in each variation. I think there's 4 or 5 variations in total. There is an early access Father's Day event going on right now that's current on Nubeo's website. So you can shop on Nubeo's website and pick up one of these whenever it's convenient for you at hopefully a sale price. Like I said, some are as low as $1,700. Some of them are at their full price of $4,200, like mine is right now. Now, next time I go to check it, hopefully it's going to be down to $1,700, like the other versions. They've got a version with a black IP bezel, with a yellow gold tone bezel, a couple of interesting, really, really nice looking pieces. So, is this Polaris Tourbillon over the top? Yeah. Does it scream, oh, I'm a space geek and I like to flex? Also, yeah. But is it damn cool? Absolutely. I have been waiting and waiting and waiting to finally do this video. I wore this around when it arrived. Did my best not to scratch it. Fell completely in love with it. Got to know its daily quirks. Doesn't pull hair on your arm. It's got a really well-made bracelet. It's not too heavy. It's not imbalanced. Everything feels good as you're wearing this, and it wears smaller than it really is. If you know that you can comfortably wear a 44 millimeter watch, you're not going to have a problem with this at all. This is for the collector who doesn't want the same old Swiss diver that we're all wearing every single day. It's for someone who wants conversation, Maybe a little bit of attention, nothing wrong with that. And a little bit of wow factor when the lights go out. And for $1,700 to $4,200, I'm loving it. I'm very glad that there are opportunities to get these for $1,700, because at $4,200, that's still going to prohibit a lot of people from owning one. I mean, you're going to look at this and go, do I buy this or do I buy a Tudor? And that's kind of hard to decide. Now, the Tudor is not going to be a mechanical tourbillon, but it's a freaking Tudor, and it's going to last you generations. This is one of those special watches that when you pick it up, you know you have something unique in your hand. And the first time you size it and slip it on, you realize that this company is really, really, really good at taking a larger statured watch and making it feel much more comfortable than it should be for a smaller wrist. And if you've got a big wrist, it's going to look big and beefy and chunky and not over the top. It's a tourbillon that you can wear every day. How often do you hear that? A daily wear tourbillon? Not very often. I'm glad when we live in this golden age of horology where we can find complications that are utterly mind-blowing. To sit there and stare at your tourbillon as it's making its revolutions, looking at all of the teeniest, tiniest components that comprise that rotating cage, and realize all that's going on a scale so small that I'm wearing it on my friggin' wrist. And I was somehow able to afford it. It's a great time to be alive. Anyway, that is your look at the Nubeo watches, Polaris Tourbillon Limited Edition. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I sure did. And I'm so much happier now because I'm done and I can wear this as much as I want to now. I can get scratches on it. I can get smudges on it. I don't have to photograph it anymore. I don't have to do anything. I get to just purely enjoy it. And that's what the watch lover in me has been dying to do for weeks. And I'll see you on the next video.